This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. It's 2022 and it's my first interview of a world champion, Lawrence Okolie, WBO cruiserweight champion. How are you, Lawrence? Nice to see you.
I'm well, thank you. Hopefully you had a good Christmas and New Year's.
I didn't actually. I had COVID, but you know, that's the price we pay for going to shows nowadays. Apparently, you have to run that risk. But no, I was okay overall. How was yours?
Yeah, mine was alright. You know, I was just taking over, so standard.
Went out to Dubai, did you? Did I see that? What were you up to out there? I know you're doing a little bit of training, a little bit of pads, a little bit of this.
Yeah, that was it. I was just, you know, trying to get my weight under control, getting a bit of warm weather training, bit of pads, bit of this, bit of that, bit of goal, just enjoying, trying to have a bit of fun while training.
How is the weight? You actually look pretty well, to be fair. I've certainly seen you a lot heavier over the last couple of years. You obviously put out that tweet a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago talking about moving up to heavyweight, which raised a few eyebrows. But you're looking well, Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you. You know, yeah, I was able to do a bit of weight out there, and you know, the fight's in 6-7 weeks, so I'm at a good place in terms of weight now, and I just need to be sensible and diet a few more times before it's time to move up.
Obviously, you put that tweet out about moving up to heavyweight. It's something that we've discussed over a number of years. Was that just you being you, kind of a bit of tongue-in-cheek skullduggery?
No, I was genuinely, because I just kept seeing stuff, you know, asking behind the scenes for unifications, chatting with my team, the team chatting with Eddie, just, you know, trying to make stuff happen, and I just keep getting this reason, that reason, this person got COVID, that person's got this mandatory, Canelo, blah, blah. So I just kind of think to myself, I'm given, like I said, at the weight, I don't want to just be one guy that gets a belt and just holds it hostage. Let's all mix it up and see who's number one and try to, you know, have career-defining moments. But I'm just not getting that same energy from the other champions, so it's kind of like, I'd rather just get paid even more to move up to heavyweight than messing around at cruiserweight. But I respect the fact I'm world champion, and I'm gonna be diligent in training, make the weight, and then deal with what needs to be dealt with.
While being diligent and making the weight, and obviously still being cruiserweight champion, I think it's fair to say that your time at the weight class is limited. I think you're sort of ticking down, as it were. Yeah,
definitely. I think, you know, obviously my thing is, as long as I can make the weight and still be strong in round 12 and durable, I'll continue to do it. The only thing is now, it's like I look back at pictures of myself from 4 years ago or whatever, and it was harder for me to get up to the weight that I walk around at now. So every time it's a little bit further, I have to drop weight. So as soon as I hit a particular point, I'm just going to just like leave it alone, because performance to me is more important than like clinging onto a belt.
So you were trying to get those unification bouts, but you weren't able to. Talk to me about Cieslak. I mean, obviously, people who kind of follow the sport will know him as a very credible opponent. There'll be people who are watching this who probably haven't seen him boxed. What kind of threat are you expecting? What kind of challenges are you expecting him to bring on Feb 27th?
A lot, you know. He's a big guy, 6'3", athletic, good switch hitter, durable, game, just all of the stuff you don't want to hear when you're boxing someone. But, you know, if I'm going to be in the unifications and stuff like that, I need to be in good, hard, credible fights against guys who are coming to win and are going to have watched me and believe they're going to win the fight. So I think it'll pose problems, but also opportunities, you know, where he'll come trying to land the shots to end the fight. So I need to do it first.
So, Mairis Briedis. Talk to me about Mairis Briedis' last few days. Well, not even his last few days, really. We've obviously seen the tattoo and what have you. I guess get your first reaction to that.
I personally think it's a fake tattoo, but even if it is a fake tattoo, it's still a bit of a shame. You know, that a professional boxing world champion is under the is a professional boxing world champion feels the need to get a tattoo, real or fake, calling out a YouTuber novice, really. You know, even if he's considered a fighter now, he's had 2-3 fights against journeyman level opposition, and you're a world champion calling him out. Whatever your reasons or his reasons that he'll profess, you know, cleaning up the sport or whatever else, it's embarrassing. To be quite honest, he's a great fighter. If me and him had a fight next, I'd still treat it as a serious, hard fight. But it's just sad.
How far along did you get in discussions with regards to a bout between yourself and Briedis? Was it something that you were told was going to happen? What's been the kind of the behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, obviously, it's a case of when, you know, I've obviously pushed for it next, but then obviously there's mandatories, although I do believe that our unification supersedes that, but then it's where it's, you know, just a bunch of like, talk, and I think he's on a mission to obviously get as much as he can. And a fight against me will obviously, you know, be financially lucrative, but he probably thinks that there's, you know, other ways of Jake Paul or, you know, maybe have a mandatory and then box me. But the mandatory is a hard fight for him as well, you know, especially with the way that he's acting at the moment. That guy will be coming dedicated and ready, and he needs to be on it for that.
Let's talk about the heavyweight division. I haven't spoke to you in a long time. I haven't spoke to you in a good few months now. So I want to go back a few months and talk about Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. We spoke to you before the fight, and you told me that you wanted to see Anthony Joshua implement his size as a natural heavyweight. You wanted to see him, paraphrasing massively here, but be aggressive, be the bigger man, be the heavyweight champion, I think is what you actually said. Didn't quite see that night at Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah, that's the case. I mean, we all watched the fight. We saw what could be worked on, and you know what happened. And you know, he's taking time, working on stuff, still working, and we'll see what happens in the rematch.
You were obviously with him in Dubai, having a little move around and shedding some weight, as you refer to it. How is he? What's his spirits?
Yeah, his spirits are good. How is he? He's still good. He's still a good fighter, a great fighter, and. Just working on stuff. It's good because he's a really good learner, so he's able to pick stuff up really well. So I like it.
Do you think if we see that rematch, he rights the wrongs?
Yeah, I believe. It's like, what more could Usyk do? Is how I haven't said this to AJ and like whatever, but it's just kind of like I look at it as Usyk's an amazing fighter, a great fighter, someone who I've thought about what would happen if I boxed him. So I've analysed he's a great fighter, durable. Great conditioning, good movement pattern, you know, good tactician, always returns back, good mindset, just loads of great qualities. However, how he boxes every time. And we saw him and AJ, the stuff that AJ can tweak, where I don't see Usyk being able to suddenly become a bigger puncher or suddenly be more aggressive or less aggressive. Do you know what I mean? So there's little we'll see how he responds to it, but AJ has so much more that he's able to give, given his physical attributes and boxing IQ.
Okay, final one from me before we let you go. Appreciate your time today. Another heavyweight fight, making some headlines. Tyson Fury and Dillon White, somebody that you've shared the ring with in sparring. Well, two people that you've shared the ring with in sparring, of course. If and when that fight gets made, it seems like that's the way things are going. How do you see that fight playing out?
It's a good fight. I do think that obviously Tyson Fury will be the favourite based on, you know, his 3 fights with Wilder. Then obviously he's build up before that, beating Klitschko, and also a good. Obviously it's different times, different fighters, but him versus Derek Chisora, the 2 fights, you kind of see the style that he approached that fight with. I do see obviously Dillon White posing some problems because he's a big guy and he throws 100% in his body shots and his head shots, so he'll be able to, you know, land the body shots, slow down Tyson Fury, and then maybe get him towards the middle rounds. But we've seen that Tyson Fury is able to get up from big knockdowns. It's interesting fight. Like I think it's a good fight. It's not a foregone conclusion that Tyson Fury outboxes him or anything like that. Then again, Tyson Fury is punching harder. It's a hard fight all round. He's probably one of the best fighters in the world right now. So it'll be interesting to see.
Okay, and a question I've been asking everybody, so I'm going to ask it to you as well. What does 2022 look like for Lawrence Okolie? What are you going to do this year? What's going to be this time next year? What are we going to be talking about?
Depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about in terms of boxing, you know, hopefully I would have, you know, defended my world title successfully February 27th, after which I'll be having some unifications this year, and then we'll see what the world looks like in 2023. Personal, hopefully open up a few more businesses and create some strong links outside, and then, you know, continue to help my family and friends.
Okay, well, we wish you all the best with that. As always, Lawrence, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Have a good one.